Hey folks, good afternoon and welcome to another live stream with myself, Jay, here to build a 96 key keyboard, a Melody 96 for Bonito, who's kind of sent it over to me to have a look at and try having a look at it and getting up and running. Just having a shout out to chat. I can see that we've got Martin first again at 7:32 an hour ago. So I've got a clock right above me, that's what I was looking up. So yeah, so well done Martin on first again. Who else have we got? I can see Soran. Hey there, how you doing? Martin's sick of ads. Hey, I'm not responsible for Twitch's stuff, man. Whatever they want to put on, they'll put on. Amber as well. Hey Amber, hope it's good. Glad to see you. We've got Matalek who has just subscribed. Thanks, man, for the sub. Really appreciate it, dude. Really appreciate it. Thank you, man. We've also got Chris Swires. Chris, I'll do you a little boogie later on if you ask for one, but I want bits for it. We've got Egler as well. Anarchy, who's just put his on 96 yesterday. Nice. Is that the one that you posted with the Star Wars caps on? Because that was really cool. I liked that, the way you done the red and blue. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I really liked it. Who else have we got? We've got Egler. Hey man, good to see you. Still repping the desk mat. Hold on, I've got remotes in the way here. Shove that out of the way. There we go. Still wrapping the international kit desk mat, as you can see, the lovely ISO one. Sadly, no ISO on this board, but there we go. Who have we got? We've got Rope as well. Hey man, good to see you. Has your Alice turned up yet? I hope it has. Fingers crossed for you, man. Fingers crossed. I've got another name that's in black that I can't read. I'm going to try and highlight it. Nikolsky. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Matalek as well. Yep, thank you for the sub, dude. We've got Lex as well. Hi Alex, how you doing, man? Good to see you again. Holy pandas aren't great. Nice. I was saving that sub for the best ISO. Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. I wouldn't say I was the best builder, but I'm probably the most evangelical about ISO in the community right now. I would probably argue that that's the way to do it. But yes, we've got Holy Pandas Aren't Great, who is here again as well. Hopefully not taking over your stream like I did last week, this week, dude. But I did really enjoy your stream the other day that I was watching when you were desolding that board. It was pretty good. And we've got Pusher as well. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Someone else who is always up there as well. Thanks, man. Rope next week. Fingers crossed for you, dude. Do send me some pics when you get it, because I really want to see it. I really want to see it. Hey, and Mr. Evil Genius Mr. Evil Genius himself has resubscribed. Thank you very much, dude. I really appreciate the subs. As always, any subs or any tips, any bits, anything else like that was going all straight into the giveaway pot. The next giveaway that we're planning on doing will be a couple of weeks away just yet, but as soon as I can tell you more details on that, I will. But it's something a bit more special than just some of the other ones we've done so far. So really looking forward to being able to talk about that. But as I say, all Twitch subs, donations, bits, whatever else you guys put towards it, that all goes straight back into that. And for those that you aren't on there, on my Discord, there will be some sub-only elements happening in the next couple of days when I set that up. And there might be some sub-only giveaways as well. We'll have to see. And Chris has put two bits in there. I better do him a little boogie, because we know how he likes his boogies. Now I've got the front view camera. You can't really see me dancing, Chris, but I did a little 2-bit dance for you. What else have we got going on? I think that's it. That's everything. Beard looking good. Yeah, I'm trying to grow it out again. I'm not sure. We'll see. Trying to grow it out and get the hair long again as well. The hair's too short. It's nice and short on the sides, but it's too short on top, so I'm trying to grow both out again. Anyway, what we're going to do today is rebuild Bonito's Melody 96. This is a 96 key keyboard. It's actually really nice. I've got stuff at the side here. Let me just mine this out of the way. So I've got all the screws resting on the board at the minute. I don't want to lose them. So this is the base of the Melody 96, which, as you can see, is polycarbonate, but it has got the logo in there. I'm not sure if you guys can see that underneath it. Put it down. Does that help? Not sure. There you go. You can probably see it just there. Melody 96 by YMDK. It's a really nice piece of plastic. It's pretty nice. It's pretty solid. It's really nice, and to be honest, I was pleasantly surprised by the quality of the case overall. So it's kind of like a top mount case. So as you can see, this is the top edge, but it's got the nice beveled corners just there as well. They're really nice. And for the price, I think this is a really good little kit. So it's all top mount, fairly chunky, pretty sturdy. There's no bend or flex in the case like some other 96 keys that I've had the pleasure of building and things like that, but it's just genuinely a really nice, good solid keyboard. So previously it was built with box blacks, so it was built with these. I think Bonito had some worries around his keycaps being stretched on the switch stems, so he wanted them to be changed over for Gator on black. So that's what we're going to do from today. So I spent the morning yesterday desoldering the board and its LEDs, which was a massive pain, but here we are. It's now all fully taken apart. He does want it building ANSI, so we're going to rebuild it in the same layout we had before, which is with the standard ANSI left shift. The 96 key's got two U keys just here, ANSI enter, ANSI backspace, well, just normal backspace, and then he just wants a standard caps lock as well, not step caps when we get to it as well. So this is the layout we're going to do. As I said, I've taken the board apart. We've got the plate here, which is a lovely brass PVD model. It's got a couple of fingerprints on it for me dismantling it, but as you can see, it's lovely and shiny. You can see my face in it. Look, even there. Really nice bit of kit, bit of flex in it. I think it's more the size than anything else, but it's definitely PVD brass. So one of the things I'm going to do once we've built the board is just give these in between the switches a bit of a clean up with some isopropyl alcohol on a cotton swab. Just make it all nice and shiny, but we'll do that after the build. But yeah, really nice kit. From what I understand, he had this built by YMDK as part of the group buy, because when it's come, the stabilizers, although they're supposed to be lubed, and you can still see some lube just on the edges here, as you can hear, it still rattles. There's still a lot of rattle to it, and when I took one of these off, I'm not sure if the camera will zoom in enough for me to show you this, but when I took these stabilizers off, just to have a look at them yesterday, I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see this, but the clipping hasn't been done to the greatest level either, so there's still some inconsistencies on the base as well. So the first thing we're going to do is take these off. We're going to clip them, we're going to re-lube them, we're going to put them back together, and then from there we'll carry on with the build as normal. So I'll do the switches, and then he's asked for some LEDs to put in as well, so if we've got time for that, we'll do the LEDs on stream. If not, I'll do them separately and ship it back out to him, because the final thing I want to do today is show you guys how I'm going to infill this logo as well, so I definitely want to do that. So once we've done the soldering and got the switches in this board, we'll take a look at the time, see how much time we've got, and then we'll move on to the infill of the TGR logo, which we're going to do in some white acrylic paint, which I've just got here as well, so titanium white, which is an opaque paint, and I'm just going to show you my method with a bit of flexible rubber. So we'll move on to that after we've done the build. Just catch back up with chat, see what's going on. Do you know if the Neubauer cooler master case fits the Phantom PCB? I have no idea, sorry, WGM, I couldn't answer that. I'd have to look it up. If anyone else knows, please do post in the chat. If not, hit me up afterwards. If you message me on my Discord server, which you can get by doing !mark Discord, that's my mouse, then I'll definitely take a look. There we go. There you go. Box scare, yeah. So I've never been a massive fan of box switches for regular use. I do like the feel of some of them, so I love the feel of the box Royal switches. I think they're really great, really high tactility, but I'm not a massive fan of box switches as a whole. They were about the only ones I really liked, but I have got some other ones coming as well. I think I've got some Novelias, which I think are box as well, they're on the way, and I think I've got some of the new box Royals with the smaller stems. What else is going on in chat? Pre-keycap breaking box user. Yeah, it happens. 6U spacebar layer. No, I think this is 6.25 if I remember rightly. I don't have a spacebar laying around. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yep, 6.25U. Definitely 6.25U. Yeah. Oh, and Chris with some more bits. Thank you very much, dude. How many is that? Oh, gosh. Where's my drink? Well, so I've been having a drink all day, Chris. I've drunk a bottle of wine, a bottle of Prosecco, and some other bits with dinner. We had family around today. So the plan is not to drink tonight, so I'm just on the lemonade at the moment. The last thing I want to do is build someone else's board whilst I'm fully drunk. So yeah, no drink at the moment, just lemonade until this is done. And then I'm going to have a few whiskies, I think. That's the plan after this. Amber's just finished lubing the Sky switches yesterday. Now you're just waiting on my Holties. I've never been a big fan of Holtites, but you know, if you want a hot swap board, they're a great option. They are a really good option. And Soren needs to rebuild the Nui, but I'm way too lazy to desolder and get the switches. It happens. Desoldering this was a pain. Desoldering the switches is fine. I've got a proper desoldering gun. Even that with that, the LEDs were an absolute pain, and there are some spaces on the board where the LEDs haven't desoldered correctly. So what I'm going to do is just heat up the pad as I push the LED through when we get to the problem ones. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I finished modding about 300 box switches this morning. Wow, 300 box switches is a lot to mod. Especially if you don't have a proper keycap up. No, I've just 3D printed some from box switches, but yeah, I'm trying to stay clear of them now. We'll see what the Novelias are like, but yeah, probably not going to do anything with them. These Gatorons are completely stock. I think Bonito's plan is to run these as stock for a while, break them in, and then once he's done that, I think he's going to use the switch top opening facility to lube them and stuff later on. But I'll leave that entirely up to him, as it's his board. And thank you, Double, for the bits. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, dude. That's really, really nice of you. Yeah, thank you, dude. Really, really nice. A15, A20, and A25 click bars and 65-gram limited edition springs from. Nice. That sounds really good, actually. I assume they're the box navy or box jade housings that you put them in, I would guess, or you're using those stems for them anyway. I don't know. But they sound good. This is going to sound good. The clickies are quite nice. This board just there on my wall, that's got box navies in. It's probably the only clicky board I have that I enjoy using. But again, that's only time to time and not any great shakes. I had to desolder LEDs for the first time I was desoldering my Razer board, lol. Yeah, the problem my desoldering gun has, and I've got a proper one with the unit and stuff like that, is the pads for the LEDs are too small, so a lot of the time it doesn't get them. So what I tend to do is double with the with more bits. Thank you, man. I really appreciate those. Thank you, dude. They're really, really appreciated. We'll definitely put them to good use for the giveaway in a couple of weeks. So yeah, the pads here are just too small for the more bits coming through. Thanks, dude. Thank you, man. What's going on here? All the bits, like a bit train. The pads here are a little bit too small for my sucker to get onto the onto the end, so it doesn't take all of the solder out. So what I was doing was taking the majority off, heating them up, and whilst I was heating them up, just pulling the LEDs out and sliding them out that way. Everything's tested and still working just fine, so we're all good on that front. And there's no major damage to the board, no damage at all really. Just a bit of solder wick in places, and that's about it. So there will be a couple of LEDs that may cause us some pain, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's catch up with one quick chat really quickly before we start on reclipping these and relubing them. A20 and A25 feels really good. I have got some on order. I have got some coming, but half of them are for stocks, who's probably watching, and the other half I have no plans for just yet, but I did get some off Spirit to try. It'd be good if they are deeper sounding. I think they're a little bit on the high pitched side stock. And I thought it was bad swapping the springs on 70 box wise. Yeah, doing 300 sounds like a terrible idea in my opinion. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd want to do 300 of any switch in one go. Yeah, wow. Right, okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to dismantle these one by one. We're going to take them off the board. We're going to clip them, then we'll lube them, and then we'll put them back on the board. As always, I'll be using silicone grease. This is dielectric grease, so I'll be using that. Applied with a brush, as always, and standard just flush cutters, which have done me great for about 30 builds now. Good little tool to have. So as I say, these have got a slight problem where they've been clipped. I'm going to try and show you this, but I'm not sure if it's going to load up correctly. So I don't know if you can see, but just underneath my fingernail, just on this side, it hasn't been clipped properly, which means it's not flush on the bottom. It is kind of raised. I'm hoping the white keycap in the background will show that up. If you can see the little raised bit at the end there as well. But basically they're all like that across the board. It means some are slapping when they're connecting to the bottom and some aren't. So I'm just going to reclip them, take them all flush on the bottom, and hopefully they'll be a bit nicer once we're finished. So now we've done that one, I'll try and get back over the keycap so you can see. There you go, you can see it's nice and flush all across the bottom now, so there's nothing sticking up, nothing to slap on the bottom of the PCB. You're going to have a consistent feel across both sides. And then as you can see here again, try and get over this white keycap, it's good for that actually. You can see again there's a little nubbin and one of the legs hasn't been clipped at all. Excuse me. So yeah, so we'll just clip these again. And there we go, that's nice and flush. So back into the housing, take the wire into the bottom hole on the insert and then clip into the front, and there we go, that's nicely put back together. Same on the other side, into the housing, 2 holes to the front. The front's where we've got the clip, as you can see there, the clip at the front, 2 holes on the insert to the front, wire inside into the bottom housing, and then clip into the front of the stem holder. There we go. So we're just going to lube this really quickly. So I'm just pouring some lube into the cap there. Put that to one side. A little bit of lube on the brush, not too much for the first part. Literally just going to lube onto the sides of the stems, just like so. Turn it over. A little bit more lube on that side. We'll do the other side now. Again, it's not about putting loads on here, it's just about making sure that they're going to be smooth and nice and easy to use. The fact that these have needed to be clipped does suggest that they are legitimate cherry ones, but there we go. And what we're going to do is take a nice little dot of lube on the end of this, the brush, straight into the back where the wire extrudes, then same on the other side. Just a little dot just in there. And the last thing we're going to do is just lube on the underside. Rice gray size piece of lube on the brush from the front all the way across to the back, just wipe it across. And the same on the other side. And just wipe that across. And there we go, that's that one done. We'll put this back on the board, back in the same spot. Now, these were already lubed at the front, so I haven't bothered lubing around the front edge of the curve of it because I've already got plenty of lube on there. Too much spoils the broth. So that should hopefully, if I hold the other ones now, it's going to be difficult to shake this and show you by holding all the other ones. There's too many stabs on the board. There you go. No noise, let go of the other ones. There you go. Let's catch back up with chat before we do the other ones. I was supposed to desolder the Bock CP this weekend and show Bock in the group buy thread how fucked up my PCBs. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, man, because that's one board that I absolutely adore. The antique finish is really, really nice, and I would absolutely love one of those boards. But yeah, if you've got a problem with the PCB, you should definitely show Bock it and get him to send a replacement. The 2 support bands going down the top side where they clip in. Yeah, they do. They are genuine. As I say, they're definitely genuine ones. I assume that they just came as part of the group buy and they weren't put in by anybody else. I'm pretty sure Bonito said he'd had it built by the group buy runners. Okay, so we're just going to move on and do the next couple really quickly. So these are just clip-in ones, they're not screw-ins, so it's nice and easy to remove them. Again, these have been clipped the same, so there's a consistent way that they're clipping them, which is fine, but they've just not clipped them to what I would call an acceptable standard. So we'll just re-clip these, just show you again over the white of the keycap. You can see there that there's a raised bit in the middle. Just doesn't sound good, doesn't feel good, so we'll just quickly take these back apart. And there we go, and then if you take a look at it now, you'll see that it's fully flush on the bottom. No raised parts, all nice and steady away. So pop this back in the housing, 2 holes to the front, as always. And then I'm going to slide that in there. I hope if I lined it up properly. There we go, and clip it back into the front of the stem holder. And there we go. That's all nicely back in that side. And then we'll crack on with this side. I've got it the right way around. There we go, all back together. So quickly lube these. Try and catch back up with chat while they're going. Yeah, clipping are underrated. I personally prefer screwing. I just think even if it's psychosomatic, they feel a little bit more secure to me. I have had clipping ones come out, but you know, the last thing I think anyone should do is buy anything on a budget. So if you are going to buy stabs, you should buy the best you can get. For the sake, if you're buying, especially if you're buying a custom board for, you know, $400, $500, $600 board, to then buy cheap stabs, it just seems like a bit of a misnomer. When I got the VEA, for those of you that remember on stream, it was actually built with Cherry MX Blues and fake cherry stabs, and it just sounded horrific until I rebuilt it, and now it's in a much better position. Okay, so we're going to put this back into the board. Making sure they're nice and flush on the PCB. And I've just had a message there off of Snapper, who's got my Novelia switches, so he's going to ship them out to me soon, hopefully. Right, okay, we've just got 4 more to do. Quite a lot of stabilizers on this board, with it being a 96 key. So I'll just pop this apart. And then we'll clip these really, really quickly and I'll get on with the build proper. Has anybody else built a board this week? I know Anaki's built his 96 key, which is Star Wars themed. I don't know if anyone else has built anything interesting. And yeah, Mechanicon's next week, isn't it, Amber? Yeah, I'd love to be able to go, but I just can't justify it this year. There's another meetup in the UK in Edinburgh in December that I'm looking to attend, so I can't afford to go into all of the meetups, unfortunately, especially when it's so close to Christmas. Okay, there is a little bit of plastic on that stem. I'll get that off. Okay. Let's quickly lube this one up. Again, it's better to err on the side of caution with lube. I'd rather put too little on and have to go back and put some more on later on. And then we're just going to rice grain size amount across the bottom that way. And then one more just across that way. That just protects any bottom out sounds. Pop that back into the board. There we go, that's one more done. Move on to the backspace. Quickly clip these. And some of these little black bits are flying all over my office. Thoughts on Telios, should I buy? Telios are okay. I don't think they're a terrible switch. I think they're a little bit overpriced for what they are. My money for a good stock linear right now would be on the Tangerines. They're probably my favourite stock linear switch right now. Either that or some of the Revo Whites. They're probably a little bit more expensive than you need to. I don't think they sound bad. I think that's a preference thing anyway. Everyone's going to have different thoughts on that. I think they sound okay. Chris did a video the other day of him using Telios and something else. I much preferred the Telio sound, just my opinion, but that's one of those things. Holy Skies, yeah, they don't feel great. I've got some Sky housing that I've put the Halo stems in. They just bind and they're really gritty and they're not very nice. Holy Pandas are way nicer, yeah. Yeah, they're really gritty. It feels like there's got sand in the bottom of them, even more so than a clear stem does. I think a clear stem in a Sky is quite nice, that's okay. But yeah. Yeah, get the Greetex with the cherry top and halo stem. That's okay. I think the other option as well is the retooled MX Blue housings, because they're really tactile as well. So those would be the options that I'd be looking for. You can get them on Arrow, I think they're 41 pence a switch, something like that, with the retooled blues. Almost there with these stabilizers now. Give this side a quick lube up. Just paint it on one side. Make sure it's a nice, smooth and even cover. Paint it on the other side. Just a dot in the back. Do the other side of the switch now. Not the switch, the other side of the stabilizer. Nice, smooth, even cover, so you're not trying to flood it. Just want to make sure that it doesn't bind into the back. I've already plenty of lube on that one actually. Hair in it. And then a rice grain size piece, front to back, just like so. Get this on the backspace. Clips in nicely, and then we're just on to the last two U1s. Just for the numpad. Oh, it's gone on the floor. Grab that. Give me 1 second, guys. It's gone right under the desk. There we go. There we go. So just quickly take these apart, lube these ones up, clip them, and we'll get them all back together, and then we can carry on with the build. Catch up with chat while we're doing that. What's going on in the world of chat? Holy Guitalias, that sounds interesting. What would you recommend me put in your 3D printed case? 3D printed case. Which 3D printed case is this? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean with that, dude. I ordered the Halo Trues yesterday. I think I'm going to make Holly Reses. Yeah, it's a good chat, man. Good chat, Rob. Sorry, nothing like that. I ordered some Halo Trues yesterday. I have to see what I can do with them. Yeah, do let me know, Amber. I'd be interested to see what you come up with. Yeah, razor stems probably not. Yeah, razor stems are something you'd want. Oops. Put this in the right way. There we go. Okay. Oops. There we go. That's that one done. We'll do the other one and then we'll loop them both together. Wants to come apart. There we go. I'll just clip this one really, really quickly. Okay, we're just going to pop these back together and then we'll lube both of these last stabilizers. And then we'll take a look at getting the switches in the board. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so we'll lube this one up first. So again, just wiping it on both sides of the stem just there. A little dip just in the back. That just stops the wire squeaking and rattling more than anything. on this side. Just flip it over and get on the other side. Little dip in the back. And then a rice grain sized piece just underneath. And then the same across that one as well. And then pop this in the board. That goes in just here. And then last one. Still plenty of lube on the brush from the bit on the side. There we go. Dip in the back. Carry on this side here. Just finish that there. Dip in the back. And we'll get these done underneath. Here as well. I see a couple of messages popping up in chat. I'll get this in the board and then we'll catch up, see what's going on. Just give me 1 second, guys. Okay, there we go. So that's all that in there. Hopefully this won't rattle now out when I shake it. There you go, much more quieter. Oh, a little tiny rattle from the top. Let's just add touch a loop just there. There we go. Much better, much more quiet. Right, let's just catch up with the chat, see what's going on. Double the case for the big switch. Are there any cheap single switch PCBs? Oh, I see what you mean. So yeah, so this is actually designed, excuse the screws in the bottom, but you can see in the bottom here, when I get you the big switch, it's still on its way. I'll send you the tracking number on actually, man. But effectively the big switch sits in the top of here, and it's like a normal switch, just 4 times the size. So like the switch will just sit in there. What you can do is, if you look in the bottom, you can see there's like this kind of area here. It's exactly designed for a Teensy or something like that, or Pro Micro, to just sit and slot in, and then you can solder 2 wires onto the pins, and you can put a USB cable through the port. So it's literally just designed for that, if you want to use it for such. It's dead easy, dead easy. And in terms of the bottom is this one, which is the nice polycarbonate Melody 96. It has got some fingerprints on it somewhere. We'll give those a clean and get that all nice and tidied up. But there we go. Melody 96. I think you can see it better if I do it like that. There we go. So there we go. Hello, we've got Subnet as well. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Good to see you, man. So that's the PCB all put together. Let me just pop the cap back on this loop. We can put that way. Okay, so in terms of the plate, it's just going to sit on just like so. And then what we're going to do now is going to put the switches in. We'll give it a quick solder. We'll pop it in the board, make sure it all looks all right. Take a look at the time, see how we're doing, and then from there we'll decide whether we're going to move straight on and just infill the TGR logo, or whether we'll do the LEDs as well. So we'll make that decision shortly. Switches here. Okay, what else are we saying? Okay, great. I'll send you a link, double, to the actual Pro Micro fitment that you need. So you can sort that out yourself and find one, but it's dead easy to do. It's literally just 2 wires, and then someone's already made a key map for it and everything. It's dead easy. You can just control whatever you want that button to do then. Yeah, so we'll be cool with that. We've got baby feet as well. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Good to see you. Yeah, the bottom looks amazing, doesn't it? It's really good quality. For the price of this kit, I was really pleasantly surprised with it when I opened it. I did think it'd be very different to what it actually is. So I was pleasantly surprised. Just going to put a few dotted around just to get the PCB and the switches all aligned. And then once we've got a few dotted around, what we'll do is we'll just start to infill it. all these are in properly. And then we'll start to fill in all of the gaps, make sure everything is up to standard and looking good. Quite tight are the 5-pin bottoms on these Gatorons. Just need an extra push in. And that one's got a bent pin. Let's take that back out. Put it to one side. Hopefully we won't need to use it. There we go. Okay, let's start to fill this up now. These are quite tight to push in, which is good. I'd rather have them tight than some PCBs these days that you push them in and they're quite loose. The tight ones are much better in my opinion, even though they've already been used with the box switches. The box switches don't have PCB mount pins on the bottom, so they tend to go in a lot easier. But it also means that on reuse the holes aren't stretched out or changed shape, something like that. Okay, so we're making good progress there. So that's all feeling nice and solid now. Again, just bent the stem on that one, just bent the pin. Let's take a look. Yeah, fix that nice and easily. Back in. Wiz cancelled his Melody 96 mid-group buy because he was afraid I wouldn't like the 96 key layout, but the board does look very nice. Yeah, I've got another 96 key that I really enjoy using. I didn't get on the Melody 96. I kind of wish I had done now, seeing this one. I think I probably would have done if I'd have known how nice it was going to be. But you live and learn. You live and learn. Can anyone suggest a link to solder? Seems that Amazon have pursed most of the leaded options. So I can show you what I got, Anarchy. I use this, which is Kester solder. I've got a couple of different types depending on what I'm soldering. But this was off of Amazon, I think for £1, which is a lot of weight. I think it was 45 quid, something like that. I've also got a really fine one I use for SMD components as well. I'm soldering the last Cyclops PCB now. Nice. How are you getting on with the plate file, Martin? The ISO keyboard 66 one for Alps that we talked about the other day, because that'd be really interesting. And Martin's also shared a link for the ones that he uses, the leaded solder that he uses. 1mm 500 gram rule, 2% copper core. This is just 60/40 leaded solder. Yeah, 60/40. So it's just nice, steady way. It's really good quality stuff. Cleans up nicely as well. Okay, all starting to come together now. I'm going to start going column by column on this side, and then we'll go row by row on the other side. A couple of these gate ones come with bent pins, so I'm checking those now before we put them in. Just keep pushing them in, making sure everything is lining up and looking good. I'm not sure if Bonito's watching or not, but he did say he would check in if he was able to. So give him a warm welcome, chat, if he does join. You need some measurements of the space bar for the plate. Okay, cool. If you need the AEK spatial bar measurements, I can share those with you, dude. Or I can send you a picture of whatever you need if you just let me know. Okay. I'm just going to try and copy the layout that Bonito had on here before. So wherever he's had a switch desoldered, I'm just going to put one in just to make sure we're covering all bases. making sure that his board is exactly the layout he wants. Pretty sure he had that soldered in. Yep. There we go. Okay. Some of these are really, really stiff going into the PCB, but that's really nice, really reassuring. It's always really nice when the switches fit nice and tightly. Okay, we'll start moving row by row now. Flesh out all these rows, top to bottom. That one's going to bend. I have to come back to that one. Looks like it just needs a little bit of a tidy up from the desolder, so we'll come back to that in just a minute. Okay. Also, Chris, Martin, and Chris Swires, Martin, who's in the chat, and myself, we've been working with Laser Boost recently, so do expect to check out some exciting changes coming to their site soon as well. It's been a fun little project that we've been working on with them, where Martin's been doing some really, really good work for them with mine and Chris's support. And surprisingly, it's been a bit of a drama-free week in keyboard since I last streamed. I've not seen anything that caused me any great ire or feelings or thoughts either way, so nothing to complain about. I don't think there's nothing that I can recall that made me feel angry or anything like that. Oh, and we've got James, man. Hey James, how you doing, dude? How's H? Is she with you? I hope everything's good, dude. James is going to come and join me on stream in a couple of weeks because he's got a UK 78 that he wants to rebuild. I've got a ton of high-row switches for him, so we're going to rebuild that together on stream. That'd be really cool. Well, say hi for me, James. Say hi to H, and I hope she's okay. Pop that in here. As you can see, we are filling up the board nicely now. Oh, I'm glad she said hi. Okay. I think with most boards I've been normally done by putting switches in by now, but this is something a little bit bigger than normal. I think this is the largest board I've actually built on stream, I think, if someone can correct me and tell me if I'm wrong. Oh, we've got Olivia in the chat. My one and only mod is back, finally, after an absence of a few weeks. Hey Olivia. You need to let me know, Olivia, if you got the desk mat that I sent you through, one of these bad boys that should have been on its way a while back. It should be with you now. If it's not, it should be with you soon. Need to find some bloke to do the PCBs. You think we could do it? We could do it, or Martin could do it, or Yankar. We should bully Yankar into doing it. James's PCB needs all of the components soldering on, which, whilst we could do it, it would make a very boring stream. So yeah. Hey, she asked for this. I told her I was getting one, and she wanted one, and she was a guest on the podcast as well as I was. So that's why she's got. I'm not forcing ISO on anyone. It was her choice as to whether she got one or not. I'm a firm believer in people should use what they want to use. Done. Nice work, man. Nice work. Is that the Cyclops PCBs all done? Good, man. Olivia, I'm sorry, chick. It should be with you soon. It really should. I don't know what's taking it so long, to be honest with you. I need to check, see if I've got any tracking for it, because if I have, I can share that, and we'll see where it's got to. Luckily, it was only a cheap shipping fee. It wasn't an expensive one, but I'd be really sad if it's not arrived. one's really stiff. There we go. There we go. Okay, so as I said before, he wants normal caps lock on this rather than stepped caps, which is how I usually build boards. So we're just going to put a normal caps on here, and then, as I say, that will be the ANSI left shift. And I'm just going to see how he had this laid out before and copy that effectively. There we go, there. Okay, carry on. Back onto this row. It took me about 10 hours building my one in total, including making key map and flashing. Wow, that takes a long time. Is yours hand wired though? Is it another hand wired job? Because you do some amazing hand wiring, dude. I've got to be honest. If anyone hasn't seen it, Anarchy has a UK78 that's been hand wired with Alp switches, and it's ortholinear, and to be honest, it's a work of art. It's an absolute work of art. Who else have we got? Who else have we got in chat? I've seen a couple of new names. We've got Z4R9 up as well. Hey man, good to see you, dude. And we've got the Raging Agent as well. Hey man. Oh, glad to see you popping on while you're at break. Looking forward to your little mini group buy. Is that spilling too many beans? I don't know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's actually gonna play still in the works. Alright, okay. Well, that's forming part of my next giveaway. So anyone knows about that that's going on, then you'll might have an inkling as to what's coming for the giveaway. But we'll see. Okay. How do I like my Alice? I absolutely adore it. Right. To be honest, okay. So I bought the Alice because I was going to use the VEA, and I thought the VEA would take me longer to get used to, with it being split and everything else. And this was supposed to be a stopgap. This was supposed to teach me how to do proper touch typing. It's supposed to teach me to get used to a split layout, and it was supposed to be an interim board that would eventually become a shelf piece that would go on the display up here and at the other side of the TV, just over there, and probably not get used after that because it was something that was so nice. I've been using it for well over a week now. I absolutely love the board. I can't stop using it. The Nixies feel great. The PBT feels great. I might try and change it out for GMK Oblivion, see how that looks on the pink with the grey and the white and stuff like that. I think that might look quite nice. But to be honest with you, the VEA has been sat on a shelf since, it's just that view on this side, but it's just been sat on the shelf for, well, a week now. I haven't used it, I haven't touched it. It's all been about this. Even my wife has been using this because she finds the layout really comfortable to use. The biggest downside to this board though is I never hit enter when I'm typing. I always miss it because I'm used to the ISO. I end up hitting backslash. That catches me out all the time. The other thing that catches me out on the board is the fact that it's got two Bs. It's got B on both sides. I've only really used this one. I need to start using that one to flip back to the VEA. And the other thing that I struggle with is the shift key just here. I think it's just because of the layout. I'm wanting enter to be here as normal, but I'm hitting backslash. But then when I'm trying to twist my fingers back round to hit shift, I'm hitting enter, and that's just that area there with my little finger. That's where I'm getting confused on this board. So we will be going back to the VEA. I need to go back to ISO, but I do love the board. It's an amazing bit of kit, and I absolutely adore it. There we go. That's my thoughts and feelings on it. Break, sure. No, not hand wide, but the LEDs took time. It was difficult getting the switches in without them being piecemeal. Okay, yeah, I hear you. That makes a lot of sense. I'm not looking forward to doing the LEDs on this. We probably won't do them on stream. I'm leaning away from doing them on stream. I'm more tempted to just do those off stream over the period of a couple of days because they are frustrating to do. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. All depends on the time. Let's carry on getting these switches in. Got a bit of flex in the plate at the bottom, so I'm just going to fill out this bottom row, try and put the switches in the same positions as they were previously. So I'm just going to look for the marks of the solder and just go with that. So I'm just literally looking at the bottom here rather than working out what layout I'm doing. I'm just literally looking at the bottom, seeing where my solder marks are from where I've desoldered the board for Bonito, and just going with that. There's the de facto positions for the key switches. They're all flush. Hopefully this should stop us getting any flex at the bottom of the board, off of the edge of the plate. Okay, so that's that row done. Literally just copied where the solder's been used. And we'll use that as the basis for determining the layout. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Next project will be a hand wire though. Well, you know I've got a hand wire project coming up as well, so I might have to work with you on that. I'll definitely need your help getting the whilst I can do the key map, it'll be actually getting all of the layout and everything else plumbed into QMK that I'll need the help with. I know we've talked about it before, so we'll take a look at that, I'm sure, in the next couple of weeks. Tell him not to do LEDs. Hey, he's asked for them. It's his board. If he wants LEDs in there, he can have them. That's fine by me. I'm not going to dictate to other people what they should or shouldn't use. That film with a board is a shower and not a goer. Yeah, I've got a few boards that I love, but I just don't use them. The Pearl for one, that's an example. It's a lovely board, it's an amazing bit of kit, but I just can't type on it because the stagger's off. So you know, these are the things that happen sometimes with boards. What else have I got that I don't use? Let's have a look. The Noxury X75 prototype. It's a lovely board, but if I've got a 75% layout that I want to use, I end up using the Polycarb Singer. I don't know, it's a nicer board in overall. For me, I prefer it. It sounds nicer, has a better profile, slightly higher angle at the front. But you know, that's not saying the X75 is a bad board or the TGR is a bad board. It's just all about preference at the end of the day and what you find comfortable and what you like to use. Let's see what else is catching on. LEDs are the work of the devil. I agree. I get more and more excited for my Alice every second I look at this. Dude, I'm really sorry. I am, but I can't move it because I need it to interact. Do you want me to switch it out for another board? Would that make you feel better? Let me know. I'll happily switch it out for another board if you want me to. In fact, I'll have to shortly anyway when we start to look at the infill paint for the top. I'm currently printing 3D printing a split Alice case that I'll hand wire. Oh man, if you've got the I would love a sneak peek at that. PM me on Discord, dude. I definitely want to take a look at that. And if you wouldn't mind sharing the files, I would absolutely love to print one off myself as well, because I've got some crazy ideas for that kind of stuff. So if you wouldn't mind, I'm not asking you to. I completely understand if you say no or anything like that. But yeah, obviously I'm happy to send you some beer tokens or something like that if you are willing to share it, or even if you'd rather print one off for me and let me buy one off you, whatever's better for you. Yeah, definitely take that. The clicking you can hear, guys, that's just the reset button. That's the reset button as I'm forcing the switches in. It's not doing any harm or damage anyway. Okay, and let's just have a look here. 2 more switches to go. The last switch just in there. Okay, and then, oh no, we've got 1 more switch to do up here, but we need to do that when we've got a hot solder. So you know what? Let's just do that now. Let's just let this heat up. I think it'll need turning down on the temperature a little bit. Yeah. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and heat up the pad. I don't know if you can see it on stream actually. The pad itself is just slightly full and it won't push through. So what I'm going to do is just heat it up. This board had unleaded solder on it. That's not attacking it heat-wise. Let's turn this up a little bit. There we go. That should press in now. Okay, so that we're all pressed together. As you can see, the board is all flush. All the switches are flush to the PCB, they're flush to the plate. That goes all the way around, all in great shape, all in great position. You can see the stabilizer wires are free and clear. There's nothing clashing on the board. It's been built before, so I'm fairly confident it's going to be just fine. All the fingerprints on here and stuff will clean up afterwards. It's not too bad though, it's quite shiny still. Just turn this back down. I don't want to be soldering at that temperature. Ooh, sneak peek. Let me have a look at that. Let me get that up. Oh man. Oh, you've got the Ultimate Mica 3. Nice. I've only got an Ender 3. I've only got a simple thing, but that looks really cool. Let's have a look at the other picture. Oh, okay. I see how the layout works. Okay. How do they connect? Is it a TRRS cable? Is that what you're connecting it with? And you call it the links. Nice, dude. I want one. So whatever I need to do to make that happen. Let me know. It's still got the. I was hoping then it wouldn't have this stagger on the edge. I could have made it ISO. Maybe we need to get on to a collaboration for this, because if I could have this but ISO, that might be something. We might need to get onto a collaboration with this. I'm just wondering if we just moved this over slightly, these two keys over just a touch, if we could then get a nice flush alignment. Or even just these two rows. Thinking. Alright, I need to PM you after this. So, yeah, hit me up on Discord and I'll see if we can sort something out. Yeah, it looks really cool. Yeah, and Stocks as well thinks it looks pretty. But yeah, if it's TRRS, let me know, because yeah, if we could get ISO enter on that, and well, the split left shift's fine because we can split that anyway because it's the 2U cap. So, but yeah, if we could modify it for ISO enter and split left shift. Yeah, that would be perfect. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, let me know if you want to work on that and see if we can do something, because that'd be really cool. Anyway, the board is now ready. So this is all put together. Everything's nice and snug and tight. There's no rattle when we shake it, so all the stabilizers are good. It should feel really nice. Nothing's linked, nothing's catching or anything like that. Oh, Amber's off to bed. Have a good night, Amber. Thank you very much for joining. Gonna miss you. I hope to see you next time. Okay, so yeah, so we're going to solder this up together now. As I say, everything's running free and clear, nothing's catching anywhere, everything's nice and smooth, there's no rattling, there's no noises, nothing like that. So I think we're in a good position to start soldering. So what I'll do is I'll just tack each corner in first. Once the corners are tacked in, then we'll start to go row by row, and we'll just finalise the board nicely. Z4R9, what's your opinion on Noxury stuff? Okay, so I know Anthony quite well. Anthony's on that who runs Noxury. I've been to his house, I've seen him a few times, we've been to a couple of meetups together. He's a nice kid. Looking at his products, I've got 3 Noxury boards, I think. I've got an X60, which I haven't built. I've got a 268 AG, which I have built twice. It's got 2 different layouts for it. And then I've got a Noxury X75 prototype, which is 75% board. Again, that's got 2 builds for it, but only one's built. In terms of the boards themselves, I think they're good quality. The 268 is stunning. Now, I think I've been pretty lucky with my 268. I've had no issues with the screw threads. I've had 0 issues with the anodization. It's silver. In fact, it's just there. It's that board that's just here in the background. It's a really nice board. I love it. It's heavy, it's weighty, it's easy to put together. I've had no issues with mine. That being said, I've seen some of the issues with the other ones. Hey, another 20 bits. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, dude. Into the kitty for the giveaway that goes. So I've seen some of the other ones. I saw all of the 268s at Zondats when I went to pick mine up, the weight for mine. He did have some black ones that were a little bit chalky. All the other colours looked fine. The Cerakote ones weren't there. These was just the anodized ones. I know he's had some problems when he sent them out. I know some people have been disappointed. I think that's just what it is. In terms of the X60, my kit's just fine. It has got a mark on it, but I think that was done that was someone who's personally damaged it rather than being part of the QC or anything like that. And the X75, it was a prototype. It has got some damage on it from it just being stored rather than it from being manufactured. There were some manufacturing issues, but again, it was a prototype, so I can't qualify that on it being a prototype and it having issues. That's just one of those things. It did take some modification to get it to work, to get the case to screw together and some other bits and pieces, but prototype, you kind of expect that. I think it should go into group buy actually. If he runs another board, I think 75 should be the one. I think, and the sub as well. Thanks, man. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate that. Tier 1 sub. Thank you, man. Really, really appreciate that. That's made my day. Yeah, thank you. So the other side of the Noxery stuff is a lot of the time it gets a bad rep because he's had QC issues on two group buys, the X60 and the 268, and I think that's fair criticism. I think he handled it badly to start with. He got quite aggressive and quite angry and told people that they should fix them themselves. It was their own fault for breaking them and stuff, before he realised it was a wider issue, and then I think he's taken some good steps backtracking himself on that. And I actually asked him that as a live question at our meetup in Birmingham in the UK, and he told me that that's exactly how he felt about it as well. So my opinion on Noxery boards is he deserves another chance. I think the board designs are good. The minimalist, I'd like to see him do a couple of different designs. I think he's got a big opportunity with the 280 and the 220 group buy and the X60R to show that it's going to work well. If he starts to struggle with those ones, I think he's probably in trouble and needs to reinvent himself a little bit, maybe reinvent the brand and all that kind of good stuff, but hopefully it won't come to that. But the boards on the whole, the ones I have, I'm happy with them. I think they're great. I don't dislike them. I use them, apart from the X60, which I haven't built. So yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, the minimalistic as fuck if you're into that. Yeah, I agree. I kind of like the fact that they're reminiscent of the old K-Mac Mini and things like that. That's just me. I sometimes like a bit more of a fancy board, a designed board, but that's just one of those things. I've got A Holland in the chat. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Nice to see you here. So you've got a 268.2 polycarb and a 280. Okay, I'd be interested to know what options you went for on the 280, because I've seen both of the prototypes, and my honest opinion on them is I'd rather have a keyboard 8 times, but that's just me. I don't like the feel of the 5mm polycarb plate that I tried in the polycarb case. The steel wasn't built up, so I haven't tried that. The aluminium was nice, but I haven't tried it because it wasn't built up when I saw it. Looking for a solid TKL, thinking about the Noxery 280 away for the Rama UA80. I think there's a number 2 as well coming out soon. I don't know if that's the same layout. I'm assuming it is. But yeah, the Rama one looks good. We've got Fax, Mr. Stab Daddy himself. Fax, we're using some of your stabilizers in here, I believe. So there we go. The QKL from Quantric, yeah, I've not really seen much on that. Again, these boards don't all support ISO, so I'm generally not massively interested. You totally forgot about the sub. Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And the Tai Chi one. Yeah, so interesting. I've got the Tai Chi pad. Again, it's just on my shelves up here. You can't see it, but I'd be interested in the Tai Chi one, and also the Canoe TKL that's coming out as well. Sorry, not the percent one that's coming out. The Skog Mini, I think it's called. That looks really nice as well. Stocks with the hearts for Andy and Fax. And the love as well. We've picked 3 PCBs and 1.5mm alu, 5mm polycarb and 5mm bar. Okay, well, you've got all the options covered then, I think. You can build them all and try them all. And I'd love to know what you think of them, man. I'd love to know what you think of them. So yeah, just let me know. Let me know when they arrive and what you think about it. Yeah, the 5mm brass is a pretty solid plate. Yeah, my plate of choice at the minute is 2mm copper. I keep building everything with 2mm copper, but 5mm brass is pretty thick and solid. It's pretty hefty. Add some serious weight to the board. Yeah. Oh, in fact, just got back from a nice weekend in Berlin. Nice, man. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed it. Right, let's crack on with a little bit of soldering. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go into the corners on here. I'll wait for this to heat up. Right, soldering iron is having a problem welding the solder. There we go. Just needed a second. Okay, go into this corner. down to the bottom. The fact that this was an angled one for the 2U key on the bottom of the numpad threw me for a second, then I couldn't find the second pin. And then we'll just jump over here. Okay, and we'll just do a couple in the middle, just to make sure that's all supported. If we put any pressure on it, we're not going to remove that. Nice alignment to the PCB we've got. There we go. Okay, great. And now laser boosts have 1.5mm copper. Well, as did tell you that Chris Swires, myself, and Martin have been working with them. We've given them a lot of feedback on what they should and shouldn't run. And copper sounds great as well. The X75 prototype, I'm going to rebuild that actually. I've got a brass plate that's 2mm and a copper plate that's 2mm. The brass plate's got Utamu Sky switches in there which are going to come out, and then both are going to get rebuilt on stream in a week or so with retooled blacks, and then what I'll be able to do is a really good sound comparison between the brass and the copper within a full custom alu board with a brass weight, so we'll be able to hear the sound differences definitely with the same switches. So that's in plan. That's going to be a future stream. I've been meaning to do it for a while, but we'll crack on and get into that at some point soon. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just go straight across this top row, try and solve this nice and quickly. Some progress here now. So this is a little bit larger than what we usually solder on stream, so I'll try and do it quickly. For those of you that know that I had problems with my arm a few weeks ago, they have resolved themselves, so my speed should be back up to close to its former glory. Okay. Just realised my fan isn't on anywhere near fast enough to suck these fumes away. I'll turn it up after we've done this row. Okay. Always make sure you're keeping your soldering iron tip nice and clean. It helps you get a better solder connection. Removes any chance of you getting any shorts. There we go. That's the first row done. Let's catch back up with the chat, see what's going on. Couldn't find the QKL from Quadtric by it's Quantric, not Quadtric, I believe. Maybe that'll help. Showed the prototype on Top Pack when he was a guest a few weeks back. Yeah, he did. Yeah. The other one you mentioned was a Tai Chi by Eve. Yes, that's really nice. Sorry, it's not the Canoe. It's the Skog Mini. Yeah, from Percent. I was trying to say Percent, not Canoe. Yeah, it's very different. It's the Skog Mini. It looks really good. It's got the kind of Google Chrome type tab thing, but it's at the right hand side, whereas the Canoe's at the left hand side. It looks quite nice. I really like it. Fax talking to Egler about being in Berlin. That sounds really good. Oh, we've got Querdenker in the here as well. Hey man, so we've got both hosts of the international kit and Querdenker with the next sub as well. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub, dude. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it, dude. And Aholm's asking, am I in for GMK Chocolatier? Not yet. I haven't decided on this one. Now, there is one big reason why I might jump on it, and it's not because I want the set, because I already have the SA set, and I'm not sure I want the GMK set. But the reason why I might jump on this is because it's using the new idea that Zambu and Oblotsky have had around the ISO kits for the UK and for the EU. Sorry. So effectively what you have is you have two base kits. You buy it in America, you just get a standard base kit that has ANSI and all of the other keys, and that's about it. You buy it in the UK, it has the American, the ANSI kit, or the rest of the world kit, whatever it's called, which has all the ANSI keys in there and everything else, but it also has the 5 or 6 keys that are specific to UK ISO in as well. So I really, really want that to succeed. I think it's a great idea. It stops this whole ISO versus ANSI debate. I think it's quite interesting. I completely disagree that we should ever have the debate about what keys are included in a set or not. That should always be at the designer's remit, and we should always cover the base sets, both base sets. That's just my personal view, but I'm really interested to see if this one succeeds, and I might jump on it just for that reason. Not because I want the key set particularly, but just because I want to see if that succeeds and if that's a great idea. So that's what my thinking is on it as well. So yeah, and Quadenko, two months in a row with the subs, man. 2 months in a row. Thank you, dude. Thank you. What about SA Symbiosis? Again, I've already got the key set. So I don't want to buy it again. But it is really nice. As Wiz says, it's extremely expensive for the whole kits, and to do any decent layouts for compatibility, it's really, really expensive. But it looks good. It looks good. And if you don't have the set of Symbiosis, or you don't have a set of round 7 with the Space Cadet Alphas, then grab it. Just grab it. Just get it. Just get it. Yeah, Holland, it's a really good idea. Do you know what? Right, I'm trying to put your name to a face. I'm pretty sure we met and spoke, and you're called Andy, and we met and spoke at the UK meetup. So I'm apologise if I'm just keep calling you Holland and missing that. So yeah, you're right, Pusher. SA does equal expensive, but again, you tend to get what you pay for. In terms of SA profile, Signature Plastics is probably the best manufacturer of it. Max Keys still hasn't caught up. So yeah. Candy Keys will finally ship the Katana 60 you ordered 2 months ago. You need to complain to them, Martin. Genuinely, you need to complain to them, because they had the boards in stock. I know some other people have got theirs already. If you don't have yours, you need to definitely have a look at it. You think Future Crime was thinking about dropping it? Yeah, I've had a chat with Future Crime. Told him it's not a good idea to drop it because I won't buy it and I won't shill it for him. But yeah, he needs to include it, or even include it in a kit, or do something like this, the Zambumon method, or something that needs to do that. Just call me whatever you want to. Don't give me that option. Don't give me that option. I'll call you something really silly. I'm just going to call you Andy, but yeah, we'll go with that. And they do, and Quadenka says that, oh yeah, they owe you €8.25, yeah, well, or 52, yeah, they need to sort that out. Or whenever the place box is. Well, I mentioned earlier on that there's no drama that I'd heard about this week that annoyed me. Well, actually, I forgot there was. So just mentioning Candy Keys here, and mentioning of the meetup in Germany in a couple of days. One of the things that really frustrated me is I know the owners of My Keyboard the EU, and I didn't hear this from them, but I heard it from a friend who is friends with them as well. And they can't attend in a professional capacity as My Keyboard the EU. They can only attend Mechanicon on a personal basis as themselves, because it's sponsored by Candy Keys, and Candy Keys don't want any other vendors to attend. Personally, I think that sucks. Personally, I think that's terrible for the hobby. I think it's not a great precedent to set. I know when we have UK meetups, there's 4 or 5 vendors that'll attend, all from the UK. Some contribute towards the cost of the place, some don't. It's that's completely independent. That's not a bad thing or a good thing for a vendor to do. But one thing that none of the UK vendors would do is block another vendor just because they don't want other vendors to attend. I think it's just absolutely insane, and it smacks of profiteering and all of those kinds of stuff. They're literally trying to keep the market non-competitive, and it's not fair. It's not right. It's not fair, and it's not on. Is my personal view on it. For that reason, if I don't have to use Candy Keys, I'm not gonna. The only thing I've got waiting for it to come from Candy Keys right now is GMK Olivia. As soon as that arrives, I can't see any reason for me to use Candy Keys, because that, even though I'm not going to the German meetup, that has really, really frustrated me. It really ground my gears. I really dislike the fact that they're doing that. And I don't think it's fair on the hobby. I can completely understand it for, you know, big name manufacturers, but you go to a motor show, you don't see just Ford there. You see Ford and Citroen and Chrysler. It doesn't matter who pays for it or who has the biggest stand. They all attend. That's the whole point of it. You know, it should never be a one-man band on this. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Catch back up with chat, because I've been ranting for a few minutes on this one. We need to do what grinds my switches segment of reality. If you ever want me back on the International Kit podcast, I will happily rant away for 5 minutes, and you can cut it down and pop it in there and do a Jay's rant section or whatever you want to call it. You could even have some other people on there that have got some gears to grind as well. But I would love to do that. I'd absolutely love to do it. It is really sucky. I don't know where you're from, Wiz, but if you're from the USA, you'll know what the meetups are like. You know, Zeal sponsors a lot of them, but he still goes. Zeal sponsors Top Clack, but Top Clack don't only feature Zeal switches. They cover everything. It's just not right. It's not fair. Make German keyboard meetups great again. Yeah. Anyway, rant over. I'm going to solder another row. I just completely dislike it. My open letter to it is, Candy Keys, book your ideas up, because you've been absolute idiots. You're ruining the hobby for people, and it's not fair. Simple as that. Fix it by letting other vendors attend in their vendor capacity. Simple as that. That's the easy way to fix it. No reason why you should hog the hobby. No reason why you should use anti-competes like that. It's supposed to be a fun hobby with stores and everything else and vendors all getting along. You know, I would absolutely not agree with the way you're running things. My Keyboard.eu runs some of the biggest group buys in Europe. They're arguably bigger than Candy Keys, and they're clearly, you know, far better managed if people are making those decisions with Candy Keys. Simple as that. Right, let's crack on and just solder another row. Conscious of time, my soldering iron's not going to sleep, so we should be able to carry on and solder. Okay. Try and catch up quite quickly on this row. Try and make sure we don't get any cold soldered joints though. One of the interesting things about this board is it is USB-C as well. So this particular PCB is USB-C. It is interesting that we're starting to see a lot more boards have USB-C as standard on them. I do find that quite interesting, quite intriguing. I'd be interested to see if the hobby as a whole goes to USB-C or if we stay with mini USB. Personally, I think mini USB is fine. It's absolutely adequate for the job. It's easy to get custom cables for. I think it's a little bit overboard to need USB-C on any PCB right now, or certainly in a keyboard one. If we start putting hubs and stuff like that in, I can completely understand it. Oh, soldering a switch that's not there. I wondered why there was no switch pointing through. Okay. Just reflying a couple that look like they've not soldered correctly. Done. There we go. There's one. Looked like it hadn't soldered properly. Gonna reflow that. There we go. Okay, great. Looking good. Looking good. That's another row done. Right, let's just catch up. What's having chat? That's why Candy Keys did this. I'd love to German meet up here in Cologne. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to come to Cologne. They were also on Discord. Well, yeah, I'm tempted to pen an open letter to them because it's not fair, or even set up a Reddit thread because I completely disagree with it. Try and get a bit of traction. They want to jab the German buyers from MKB, or at least try to. I get that, and I do understand. But as Igla says, everyone just needs to be outspoken against it. I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal, guys. If I put a post up today on Reddit, as soon as I finish the stream, expressing my dissatisfaction for the fact that Candy Keys have done that, you all come and give me an upvote, a comment, something like that. Let's take it to the man. Let's stick it to him. Let's absolutely stick it to him. See if we can change their minds. It's probably a bit late now, but we should try. Yeah, you should, Querdenker. You should absolutely do that. That's a great idea. Tell them that they can keep your €8.52 if they invest it towards proper customer service. Yeah, absolutely. The reaction people get when coming to the Europe Discord and asking about Candy Keys was already not that great for it. Yeah, I've had some bad experience with Candy Keys. I had a key set that didn't turn up. They sent me an empty box, and they told me that I was the one that had to go and claim from DHL to get my money back. It took a while. After I think 4 months, I did get my key set in the end. It wasn't a great experience, got to be honest. I won't go into the details, but it wasn't a great experience. USB-C is good for Mac users. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I don't use a Mac, so yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. Like, but yeah, you're probably right. Thunderbolt 3 pass-through keck. Yeah, okay. C to Mini, then Mini to Aviator, then Aviator to USB for the ultimate detachability. Stock, that's fine, but you've got to remember you need a coily boyer on there as well. In fact, you need 3 coils, one between each one. Otherwise, what's the point? I'm going to make a Reddit account to vote. Yeah, do. I'll set up that post straight after this. I'll put the link on my Discord server, and I'll pin it on there so you guys can come and have a look at that. If we just go here, you can all join my Discord server if you so wish. There's no pressure either way. But there you go. If you want to come, the link will be on there. I'm going to put that post up on Reddit, and I'm going to complain the shit out of Candy Keys. Right, I feel good now. I've got that off my chest. I feel good. And we've got Toby in the chat. Toby, where have you been, man? Are you still doing your 24-hour gaming stream? I hope you are, dude. I hope you are. And everyone, wish Toby a happy birthday. It's his 21st birthday this week. It was just the other day. He's an absolute legend. Went out for some beers with him earlier on this week. Great guy. Wish him the best. Wish him happy birthday, guys, because he's a good guy. He deserves it. He deserves the wishes. Okay, let's crack on and get this next row done on here. Okay. Try not to put too much solder in, but making sure that we're getting good connections as well. I'd say this board has been soldered and then desoldered, and because the solder used previously was the unleaded type, it did take a really high temperature to take stuff off. So whilst I have tested maybe 75% of the keys, there is a risk that some of them may not work. I'm going to come back to that key. It's got a bent pin, so we'll come back to that one later on. Maybe desolder it really quickly and just unbend that pin. So let's make some good progress now. Think about trying to get 2 rows done before I come back to chat. Give me a chance to cool down on the Candy Keys issues. Okay, we are getting there now. Gotta love the smell of solder on a Sunday evening. The good news as well is I don't have work tomorrow, so we could keep the stream going a little bit longer than normal. The reason I don't have work is because it's my wife's birthday this week, So I've taken the week off so we can do a load of little day trips and fun days out. So I'm looking really forward to spending some time with her and doing all that kind of good stuff. Tomorrow we're going to a little place called Haworth, taking the dog for a nice long 5-mile walk in the hills, which is just a little place not too far away from me. It's a little old Yorkshire village. It's probably about an hour away from where I am. So I'm really looking forward to that. A nice 5-mile little hike just with the dog and the wife. Taking some sandwiches, pack up. So yeah, really looking forward to doing that tomorrow. Okay, let's catch back up with chat now. We've done half of this row. Bring back RJ45 cables, yeah. ATA 150, the best cable. Interesting enough, the Hyper 7 does use effectively what is an old IDE cable to connect the two halves together, so you know, it has been done. Happy birthday, Tobbles from Soran. Yeah, happy birthday from me as well, Toby. All the birthday wishes. Aww. What trash board are we building today? This is a Melody 96. It's a 96 key layout keyboard, nicer than your 96 key, Toby. But yeah, it is game port, best port, a nice yellow serial port. What else do you need? Yeah, Type C being reversible is nice, but it's rated for the same number of mating cycles as Micro, so I don't think it really matters. Mini has a much lower mating cycle design spec. Yeah, I think it's about half is Mini. I think. Candy Keys issue so hot you can solder a board with it. Woo! Game port was parallel. Oh, was it? Okay, interesting. It doesn't matter which USB port breaks first because you'll get bored of your board long before that happens. Yes, that's very, very true. Yeah, that's very, very true. Okay, let's carry on with this soldering malarkey. Hold on, help if I held the solder correctly. Come back to that one switch that's got a blocked pin. I'm surprised I didn't spot that as I was putting the switches in, but we'll come back to it afterwards anyway. And we'll either replace the switch, I think we've got one spare, or if we can't replace it, what we'll do is we'll just unbend the pin. Don't fix it the way someone fixed the board recently. They'd had a pin like that and they'd just flooded the hole with solder. I don't know how they managed to get it to work for even a short period of time doing that, but they did. And then I had to fix it when it stopped. So please don't do that if you're ever in that position. Stop, take note. Take the switch out. It's a 2-minute job anyway. And just make sure it's done properly. Okay, we are making good progress on this board now, even though it's got 96 switches on, still soldering at a fair old rate. And then what we'll do is we will skip the LEDs for today, but as soon as we've got this built, what I'll do is I'll steal a cap set out of the drawer, we'll pop some caps on it, we'll build the board up, put it back in its case. I'll do the LEDs tomorrow, probably not on stream, and then we'll do a quick typing test of the board, see how it sounds, and we'll connect it up to the PC, just make sure everything's working, making sure we've got no issues with it. Get good old switch hitter up, make sure everything's ticking all the boxes from that perspective. And then, as I say, we'll do the LEDs offline tomorrow and get it working that way. Okay, let's try and finish this row off as quickly as we can. I've got the solder belt bent at a really weird angle here. Let's straighten that up. flying along now. Okay. Okay, almost there now, guys. Okay, there we go. There we're done. Absolutely done. Awesome. Let's have a quick catch up with chat, and then what we'll do is we'll remove this switch just here, and then we'll resolder that back in afterwards and we'll assess that. So, what else has been going on? I like USB Type C. I think it should be standard on every motherboard. It's tomatoes. Not only that single port, but at least 4 or 8 ports. Just way less keep paying plugging stuff in. That's fair comment. Fair comment. Sounds like a nice week you got planned out there for the missus. Yeah, it's going to be good fun. We're going shopping in York as well, which is a historic town near us as well, in a couple of days. And she's got some interviews this week as well, so I'm just going to play video games. Type C is nice, but Lightning feels better. I do like the connecting port of Lightning. I've got it on my iPhone. I do quite like that. That's nice. It feels nice. Detachable cables are a meme. Well, can always hand solder and hard solder them in. I begin to like the fact that most of my gear is becoming Type C slowly. Not having to faff around with different types of cable is nice. I kind of wish it had a retentioning system though. Yeah, that's fair. Stock's going to eat into the whiskey drinking section of the evening. Nice. I have one device with USB-C and it's not even in my possession. HKB tofu. Where's your tofu, man? Where is that? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to pull this switch out. So it's this one just here. Now we have soldered one leg in, which was kind of silly, but you live and you learn. Come on. My switch clippers just don't quite want to grab hold of the switch. There we go. So all I'm doing is I'm just going to hold on to the switch. Just going to heat the pad from the bottom that we soldered in and pull the switch at the same time. Hopefully that will wiggle out. There we go. That was dead easy to remove. And as you can see, just the pin here is just completely bent, so we'll just straighten that up. And then what we'll do is we'll line it back up. And make sure from the bottom that it's going to push through correctly. So that's looking like it is there. And then what we're going to do is just going to reheat this pad just so we can clip it through and in. Okay, so that's in. Make sure it's flush from the other side. Yep, that's all good. I can now just resolder that joint. And there we go, that's that done. Okay, that's soldering done for tonight, pending any issues with the board. But here we go. There we go, bit of naked porn for you. Again, that plate looks so good, doesn't it, guys? Nice mirror finish on the plate. I really like that. Pop this away. Okay, so let's now put this board back together. So I've got here all of the little screws. These are what hold the plate into the bottom of the case, or into the top of the case, sorry, should I say. Now, the one thing I do like about this board is it takes 16 screws to hold it in to into the top, which is a heck of a lot of screws for something this sort of size. So I'm thoroughly impressed with that. Then once we've got it screwed in here, what we'll do is we'll just test it. If there's anything else that needs screwing in, what we can do is we can, soldering in, we can have a look at that separately. But we shouldn't need to remove the PCB from the case again now. If I didn't drop stuff in there. we're going to do here is just going to go diametrically opposed all the way around the board. That's 2 in. And then what we're going to do is just do the side 4. I hope if I didn't keep letting go of these damn screws before I got them in. Clumsy fingers. Clumsy fingers. That's what happens when you have fat fingers. Just gonna grab some tweezers. I have some there. Sorry, the gap between the, I'm not sure if you can see it here, but the gap between the plate and the PCB and the case is really, really small, and I can't get my fingers in the gap. So that's why I'm struggling to get these in. Put them with tweezers instead, seems a better idea. Yeah, let's just try and pop these in with tweezers, might work a little bit easier. Dead easy with the tweezers. Okay, these ones should go in a little bit easier. There we go. So one of the bad designs on this board, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but there is a screw for a hole for a screw here right underneath the USB-C port. That's probably the biggest flaw in this design. That should just be moved here, or even to the other side, or just slightly off centered, but it's really awkward, really difficult to get into. Do you know what, I'm going to try and pop this in with the tweezers again. Because there's no way I can get my fingers in there. Yeah, do you know what? We're going to come and do that one last. That one is last on the list because it's really difficult to get into. Catch up with chat, see what's going on. In contrast to Jay, I got to go to work tomorrow, so I'm off for the night. Enjoy the rest of the solar fumes and a good night to everything. Oh, Nightquare, thank you very much. See you later, man. That's a proper amount of screws, yeah, and it is a stupid design for where the screw slot is. Again, I'm trying to rush this to give you guys more content, but because I am running out of time. Come on. So finicky. I think this is the problem with it being such a deep board as well. It's difficult to just line the screws up. But the cheap screws are not magnetic, so even if I get a magnetic screwdriver out, it doesn't help. I think the only other option would be for me to... even that didn't work that time. I think the only other option for me would be to replace the screws, but given it's not my board, I won't do that today. There we go, that's in now. As I say, I think we'll skip the one just underneath the power socket until later on. Again, what am I doing? What are we doing, guys? See if we can get all of these in first, and then we can just screw them in. go. Let's screw all these down. There we go. A few more screws on the top. Doesn't want to go in either. Yeah, if I was going to get one of these, I would replace all these screws with magnetic ones. Just makes a little bit more sense. Although, realistically, this should be a one-time job for most people. And it's not that troublesome, in all honesty. We are absolutely getting there. Let's have one more go at this screw here. See if we can get anything near it. No. It is really, really, really awkward. Yeah, it's not going to have it. We'll do it later on. I'll get that later on. Let's grab a USB-C cable and then let's test the board, see how we get on. I've got a nice custom cable here. Yeah, it's pretty stupid design, isn't it? Yeah, it is properly stupid. Black on black DSAO, quartz on the Star 68, quartz for sure. Yeah, I've got to agree with Sora on there on that. Quartz on that would be absolutely ideal. Well, it's up to you, man. If you prefer black, you prefer black. You know, don't let anyone tell you you're wrong, because you're not. It's a preference thing. Just gonna put this in over here. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there we go. All underglows still working. Let's just sit it on the polycarb base so you guys can see that. I'm not going to fasten all the case together just because I need to do the LEDs first. There you go, guys. Look at that underglow. It's kind of nice. Glows at the side of the boards as well. There we go. That's actually pretty cool. I actually quite like that. For the money, I think this is a great little kit, actually. It's a fantastic little kit for the money. Okay, so I'm just going to load up switch hitter, and then we'll see how we're looking from a build perspective. Okay, so testing the keys, escape, F1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then we've got print screen, home, end, page up, page down, delete, minus, plus, enter. Let's do the numpad numlock / time 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. That's right key, dot, and there. So these are the arrow keys. So that's right. That makes that up, down, left. That's all working there. Let's go across the rows. Okay. That's all working. Tab, yeah. Okay, everything works on that row. Caps lock works. Yeah, that's all working there. Shift, yeah. Okay. That whole row works there. Control Win Alt, space, Alt. That must be FN. Let's see if we get anything new to pop up with FN. I don't know what it's got. Okay, so yeah, we're getting. That is just 2. Okay. There are some things working there as well. Okay, so I think that's all working. I think everything is working just fine. Let's pop some caps on it and then we'll give a quick typing test as well for you guys as well so you can listen to it. I think I've got a spare keycaps or 2 lying around. Just pop this on and the hot soldering iron out of the way. think this is GMK Sky Dolch, so we'll just pop this on the board and take a look. 7U. L1.25s, we shall soon see. Have to be careful with this. This is the original set that's got R0 and the other one as well, and it R5 of Sky Dolch, so it does have a few more keys and different rows than some other sets do. Yeah, that'll do for there. You don't have to be spot on. Well, that is the R5. So I don't know if you guys have seen row 5. That's row 5 compared to the normal bottom row. You can see it's quite a lot steeper. But yeah, row 5 was a thing for some. So these are both controls. There you go. You can see that. So you got the standard bottom row and then a deeper bottom row, which is quite nice. And then there is a taller top row as well. I realise I'm putting all these caps on. I'm going to have to take them all off again, but we should definitely do a silent title percentage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was page down. WERTYU. There we go. That's an ISO key, so we don't need that. ANSI enter. And then we've got the there. Nope, there. Right for that. There we go. Don't need the ISO enter. 2, 3, 4. Let's see what's going on in chat. What up, pimps? That does not sound like you, Martin. Oof, nice. Yeah, ooh, white and black is also possible. It's ABS. Yeah, this is. I've got white and black Stormtrooper version of GMK coming, but the PBT was really nice as well. Oh, this is blacker than white though, not white and black. Sorry, yes, sorry, I'm thinking wrong. Every Dolch set except for Modern Dolch and Miami Dolch look bad. You're wrong. I've got a Dolch set just here on this board here that I really love. Emoji double shots with R5. Yeah, this is the original run of this board. In fact, I just realized I put that key on wrong. This is the original run of Sky Dolch, which had it as well, which is really, really nice. There we go. I think that was an unlock just there. Yeah. What else is going on here? Both R0 and R5 with the new TA90. Yes, you will do. Yeah, it's really good. R5 is great as long as the keyboard isn't off angle, at least for me. Yeah, it needs to be a proper angle king. ISO iKing is king, but who cares? It's not my board. If it was my board, it would be ISO. You guys know me by now. You know I'm not going to build anything for myself that's not ISO. So I was looking at the shift key then. I didn't realise until I saw the small ISO shift key that was the right one for there. In fact, that's in the wrong place. Let's grab it, switch puller. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 goes in the top corner. There we go. Do these go in the same place on this board? I think so, yeah. There we go. ZXC, there we go. NM. AXDFGHJ. We don't need that, it's an ISO key. CV. TY, there we go. Okay, goes there. 2, 3. Which was insert now? Do we even have an insert? No, it doesn't have an insert key. Not that it matters. I probably won't bother with too much with the top up there. That's R5, so that's not one we want. That's a short shift. UI up P. There we go. Sorry about this, guys. I know this takes a little bit longer than the rest of the build does, but it's well worth it for you guys to see what the board sounds like. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What's that? Oh yeah, print screen home. Yeah, okay. We did say that was FN. I know it's the wrong size key, but again, it's not my board, so we just need to pop a key on there for the sound test. There we go. I actually think this key set looks quite nice on this board, actually. It looks better than I imagined it would, actually. Don't know what you guys think, don't know if you like it or not. I said I am a yeah, okay, yeah. If you said in your opinion, that's fine. That's fine. Everyone is entitled to one, even if you're all wrong. Again, wrong key because I know it's ISO, but there we go. In fact, no, that is the right key for this one. Me getting confoodled. Okay. Okay, we are getting there, guys. Should only be a minute more, and then we'll be done. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3. Just fill in these with random keys. Doesn't really matter what we use up there. We'll just fill it up so it looks like it's a full board. Yep, that's right. Okay, this is where I find out that I've got some keys missing. No, my luck. I've not used this set. This is set's just literally from the group buy. Never been used, never been opened. Never checked the keys stupidly, so we may end up with some wrong key there. So I'm just going to fill these ones up at the top here. I'm not going to look for the right keys for there. Just going to pop whatever, just so it looks like we've got a full board. F11, F5. Should have a 5 key somewhere. Okay. There's the F key. Come on, one key missing. One key missing. It genuinely does look like it's missing, guys. This key looks like it isn't here. Oh, hang on, there we go. It's hiding. It was hiding. There we go. Okay, so that's all the board put together. Let's all catch up on what's going on in the chat. I'm going to unplug this for the sound test as well, and we'll mute the TV. There we go. Okay, so let's just catch up what's going on in the chat. Using R5 right now. Nice, Eggler, nice. It is really good. Robbed. J can't press F. I found it. Yeah, they're all hiding around under here. I just tipped it all out. It's probably a bad way of doing it. But you guys know what I'm like. So that's what the board looks like. I think the keyset actually really suits it. I think that looks really, really nice. That bottom row, don't worry about it. It's literally just to test it out. It's not my board. I'm not keeping it. I'm literally just going to test it out and see what it sounds like. But yeah, this is the bottom row that the guys opted for. In fact, let's find a better key to fit there than that one. There we go. There you go. You can see now. There we go. Okay, so let's give this a bit of a sound typing test. See what it sounds like. Again, I'm not going to do my touch typing because it's not. It's still not up to par, even though I am learning. I'm just going to do my normal typing. So excuse my forefinger spaceness, and we'll see where we get to. So. I think it sounds alright. It sounds nice. It sounds good. So these are unlubed gap blacks in a brass plate. The polycarb bottom top mount board. It feels really solid actually. There's no flex in the plate. I think that's just the sheer number of mounting screws all around the outside. Board does sound deader towards the edges. I think there's much more resonance just here. Maybe that's not being picked up on Maybe that's not being picked up, but there's much more resonance around the middle, but I think that's typical of brass boards, especially top mount when you get in towards the middle there. You want to type hard on the corner keys, yeah? That one feels a bit loose. Oh no, it's just where it's not connected into the bass properly. No ping. No ping, even when I'm bashing really hard. Sounds really good. I think I'm really happy with it. The build's looking really good. As I said, I will strip off the caps and do some LEDs on it because that's what the Bonito wants. I'll put those in tomorrow. I think they're just plain white LEDs, just standard ones, so we're going to pop these in tomorrow. But that's the board built, that's it done, that's what it sounds like. I'll probably record a sound test and pop it on YouTube when I do the Alice tomorrow morning as well. But yeah, I think it's a great board. Let me know what you think, guys. I think it's really nice. For the money, I think this is pretty spot on. It's a great looking board. Yeah, I think it's really great. Really approve. And I really like that key set on it actually as well. But he's not having that. Okay, so we have got a little bit of time left before I have to call the stream, so let's pop the music back on. The other thing I wanted to show you guys today was just how I go about doing infill. Doing infill of logos, so we'll crack on with that in just 1 second. I'm just going to pop all of these in here. Melody 96 and LZ 96 best 96 cases. Yeah, I think you're probably right. UK 78's up there. I know it's not quite a 96 key layout, but it's very close. But yeah, I probably agree with you. I don't have an LZ 96, but yeah, I have seen them. They do look good. I approve. way, and then I'll show you how to do it. Infill the logo on the TGR board, and see whether we're going to keep that or not, because we may decide not to keep it. So just to recap how I do it before we take the board apart, I use an acrylic paint. I did this on the canoe a little while ago. For this one I'm just going to go pure white. It's closest match to the keycaps that I could find. I've also got a wrist rest coming for this as well, which is going to be a dark wood. Again, I'm going to inlay the engraving that's got Alice on there with this. So yeah, we'll go with that. How do I not break my stabs when pulling off keycaps? Use a keycap puller and go straight up, don't wiggle side to side. And if you do break your stabs, you can always be careful and you can prise them back in into it as well. So I'm just going to disconnect this, which means I can now no longer type, but we'll be okay. What I'm going to do is just take the board apart. I think I've got the Allen key just here. Yeah, there we go. And then what we're going to do is we'll take the top off, so we're not risking getting any paint where the keycaps are. Try and find the centre of that. There we go. What's my favourite screw type? Mine's Torx. Yeah, I like Torx for anything fiddly. Hex is also good as well. If I'm doing DIY around the house, which I do a lot of, I do an awful lot of DIY around the house. Posi drive for everything, not flathead, never flathead. Security Torx. Yeah, the stupid triangle shaped ones. Ugh, they're horrible. But no, normal Torx is perfectly fine for anything to do with components or computers and stuff like that. I don't mind hex screws. I'm not a massive fan of Posi drive or Phillips for small stuff like this, but as I say, for DIY and stuff like that, absolutely Phillips or Posi drive, depending on what you're doing. Pentalobe though, yeah, it's much of a muchness when you're talking about hex screws and stuff like that. It's a little bit less common though, but I do prefer hex for a lot of things. But Torx screws are just amazing stuff. Easy to over torque though if you're trying to torque them up. A lot of stuff I do outside of keyboards is to do with cars as well, so a lot of stuff I end up working on is stuff that's got gosh, I forget how heavy that piece is, but a lot of the stuff that I end up working on is actually just nuts and bolts rather than actual screws. Okay, so different size Allen key for the inside, so we're just going to undo this now. Okay, have you given a guide to the BIOS the guys are working with yet? No, so that's a good sneak actually. That is for Laser Boost. Martin and I had been doing some work with Chris Wise and Laser Boost all together. I haven't as yet, Martin, but I will be doing it tonight, and I will do that straight after my Candy Keys post on Reddit. So as soon as I finish this infill, I'll show you guys how I do it. It'll take a day or so to dry, so I won't be using the board for a little while. But then once it is dry, the board will be back up and built. But yeah, absolutely, I will send that bio over to the Laser Boost guys after I've finished showing you guys this, and after I've posted to Reddit about Candy Keys and my dissatisfaction with their gosh, that one's tight. With their gerrymandering of Comic-Con, not Comic-Con, Mechanicon. Lift that out. Pop this over here. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do, guys, is infill this logo here. I have got a bit of a paper over here I was going to put down. So what I'm going to do, just make sure I don't stain my desk. This is nice and clean. It has been cleaned for a while. I cleaned all the board down just before I built it, so it is all nice and clean, but do make sure you clean it properly. In terms of the paint, just give it a good shake, make sure it's all nice and mixed up. Reddit, Geek Hack and Keep Talk, I'm happy to cross-post it to those places, absolutely. I'll definitely do it there. Double saying, should I go dual 27-inch 4K or ultra-wide and 14-foot game portrait? Okay, so I have got two 4K monitors. I've got this one right in front of me that I'm looking at now. This camera's sat on, well, both the cameras are sat on top of the monitor. I've also got another one just over to the side here. You can probably see the reflection actually. It's just there in the TV. They're both 30-inch 4K monitors, G Masters made by Yamaha. They're fantastic monitors, but I do not use the one on the left-hand side anymore. And I only use the one in front of me, and the reason for that is because it's a little bit distant away. It's difficult to get the two large screens to have a decent angle together, and what I want to do is I want to change that one for a 4K 24-inch model that I can have vertically just at the side of me for reading, writing and all that kind of stuff as well. So that would be my view as well, and Wizard said the same thing, portrait next to it. Yeah, absolutely, that's what I would do. Hello, well, we've got five in 3D. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Good to see you. We're literally just about to finish. We've just finished building a Melody 96, and now we're about to do some infill on my TGR Alice. So, as I say, make sure it's nice and clean. Make sure you've got some nail polish remover that's acetone free. Raid your girlfriend's larders. Go to the supermarket and buy some, all that kind of stuff, because that's what you're going to use to clean up the edges with after it's been painted. So what we're going to do effectively is we're going to fill all of the infill with the paint, and then what we're going to do is we're going to scrape it flat, use it to fill it in effectively like you're grouting, and then scrape off the excess at the end, and then wipe it on this bit of paper to make sure we're nice and clear. What that'll do is it'll leave some little surface marks around on the top, that'll all come off. It'll leave the infill logo nice and smooth, and then as I say, once the paint's dry we can get an acetone wipe on a bit of cotton wool bud and just rub across the top. That'll take the top layer of paint off, and it'll take it all off of this area, clean it up nicely, leave it another few hours to dry, bolt your board back together, you've got a lovely, nice, detailed infilled logo. So I'll show you guys how we're going to do it. So we've got just some white titanium paint. All I'm going to do is literally just put a blob on the board like that, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to gently massage it in, make sure we go in all of the different directions just to get into there, really force it in, and then what we're going to do is just pull it across. Make sure it's all level across. If you get any air bubbles, it's dead easy to just paint it back over. You can see there that it's covered in paint. Sometimes you'll need to do a couple of layers, and then if we just go left to right across, you can see how easy it is to get the paint off. So you can see there that that's how we're going to do it on this board. Pretty sure that looks alright. So you look there, you can see that it's nicely infilled. It looks nice and crisp and clean. There's no air bubbles forming. It might need a secondary coat later on. We'll take a look at that and decide later on if we do need to do a second coat. Just one tiny air bubble just there showing up. And there we go. So that's the logo infilled. What I'll do is I'll give it 5 minutes to dry, and then take it off the edge. My wife's just knocking on the door. Hey, Doug.
You're not done yet.
No, I'm just finishing up now. Can you do me a favour? Can I borrow a cotton wool pad and some of your nail varnish remover, please? Sending her off to get all the bits and pieces that I didn't didn't stick to one side. But as you can see, there you go. That's literally all I do. It takes 2 minutes. What we'll do in a second when she comes back with the bits and pieces, just clean up around the edges. Make sure we're not got anywhere near the logo, but clean up around the edges where I've made a bit of a mess. I'll tidy it up, and then you guys will get a really good view of what it's going to look like when it does dry. But again, it's dead easy to do. It's acrylic paint, so it's water-based paint, so even if you dislike it, you can just get it under the tap, rinse it off when it's in this position. You're not going to affect your anodizing. Get a small toothbrush or something like that, just brush it, it'll pull it straight out. Dead easy. Rope looks fantastic. I'll probably do some. Yes, you should do it. Yeah, you should absolutely do it. You've already bought some black acrylic paint. You should get a few more colours. I've got loads. I recommend this brand, Puebo. It's really good.
Don't use all of it. I've not got much left.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
I really going to ask you. What are you eating a sandwich for tomorrow?
Ham and cheese sandwich would be nice.
I ain't got any normal cheese.
Yeah, that's fine. Just a little bit of that black bomb or something. Mike's making sandwiches for our trip tomorrow. Okay, so this is what I use for removing it. It's just moisturising polish remover. It is acetone free. I don't think it says on here. No, it doesn't say, but it is acetone free anyway. I know it is. One thing you should do before you actually start this is the way I like to apply it to the pad is to take the lid off. Just fold the pad in half. Just tip it and dab it. Get a nice little circle on there. One thing you should do is just on the inside of the case, just so you know for certain, is just touch it with this. So we'll just try this here, just so you guys can see it doesn't affect your anodizing. So you just wipe it. And as you can see, nothing's come off on the cloth. The anodizing is just fine there. It just cleans it up nicely. So that's one thing that you guys can do as well. So as I say, what we're going to do is just going to start to polish all around the messy area. Pulling off that paint that we're not going to use. Just a case of giving it a good old wipe. The reason why we fold it is because then you can unfold it, refold it the other direction. Tidy up all these little edges. Struggling to hold it from that angle. Oops. Getting all the nooks and crannies. Make sure you're just pulling all that paint out. As I say, go close to the logo. Don't go on it. You can always get the rest of the paint off when you look at it later on. There's no need to get all of the paint off at this stage. You can absolutely finish it off later on. And there you go, you can see guys, that's what it's going to look like now that it's all logoed up nicely. We'll try putting the case back together for you, just so you guys can see what it looks like with the key set. Try not to get paint everywhere. But yeah, the Puebo brand for these paints is absolutely perfect. Does a really, really good job. So what we're going to do is just quickly flip that over. Try and hang it off the desk so I don't get paint on everything. We've got a little bit of paint on the inside of the case here. Okay, we're going to just quickly bolt this back together. Try and keep this paint part away from the edge of the desk. Okay. As always with bolts, don't over tighten them. They don't need to be massively tight, they just need to be stable enough to hold the board together. We are getting there now, guys. We are getting there now. But yeah, absolutely don't be scared about doing this sort of mod. Even if you cock up with acrylic-based paints, dead easy to fix. Okay, let's try and get the bottom back on as well. Just aligning the case so it's all nice and flush. Almost there, guys, I promise. What's going on in chat? Double saying a mate of mine snapped his Model F bolts. What I should say about that, other than yeah, if they're all bolts, it's easy to do. It is that easy to overshear and over torque bolts. I've done it on cars numerous times, especially old bolts on old cars. Okay, last one, and then I can flip it over and show you guys how it looks, and hopefully you'll agree that it looks good. Okay, so there we go. Oh no, we missed one. Where's that from? Oh, the top corner. Let's just get that in. Thought I'd already done that one. There we go, guys. There's a TGR Alice with the white Infill logo, and I think you'll agree that with the matching cable, there we go. The Infill logo just looks really good. Finishes the board off nicely. As I say, what we'll do is we'll get another acetone wipe. We'll just clean that off. Tomorrow we'll just wipe over it once it's dried, pull it across, make sure it's all nice and neat. There is some slight paint residue that you can probably see if I hold it up close, so we just need to fix that, but it'll take 2 minutes. But as you can see, the whole bottom of the board's gone back to normal now, normal colour. But yeah, it's a nice simple little mod, dead easy to do, makes it flush as well, and again I'll be doing exactly the same with the same paint for the wrist rest when that comes in as well. So yeah, dead easy to do. A little bit of acetone free nail polish remover, a little bit of rubber. So the little pad that I use, this is just designed for grouting tiles. They come in packs of 5. You just want something with a flat straight edge. You can actually use rubber pipe as well. I've done it successfully with rubber pipe or rubber squeegees if you've got a small enough one. Dead easy to do, and it makes a world of difference to a board, especially one like this. I'll just show you it on the canoe if you give me guys a second as well. Show you how it goes on that. So you guys can see that I've done it here on the canoe as well. Done it in teal to match the keycaps. So I just infilled the logo on that as well, which also looks really nice. So there you go, you can see 2 infilled logo boards right next to each other. Nice, simple little mod, dead easy to do. Makes a world of difference. But yeah, no secret to it. Right then, guys. With that in mind, it is getting late. I've been streaming for a couple of hours now. I'm probably going to close down the stream now, and wish you all a really happy Sunday. Hope everyone has a great week next week. I'll be back a week on Sunday with the next build. Not sure which one it'll be yet. Might do the Royal Punchy board. So the guys behind the Punchy switches, they've done the Royal 66. So I'll probably be doing that board next, and that has an infill bit as well, so we'll look at colours and options for that as well. But thank you again very much for watching me stream, guys. Conscious it's been such a while that I've been online today. I love you all. Thank you all for the bits, the submissions, the donations, everything else that's come across today. Really appreciate all of that. It's going to go towards a great giveaway in the next couple of weeks when that all comes together. Rope's going to do that infill trick on all of his boards going forward. You should, man. I think it looks great. It finishes them off, nice accent colour. You can change it dead easy. A bit of a brush and a bit of water. Comes out nice and easy as well. Night Soren, thank you very much for that. I'll see you later, Wiz. See you later, everyone else. Bye, Martin. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you again sometime soon. See you later, folks.